Hi, I'm Jennifer Faull. We're in the Drums Taxi at Advertising Week Europe. We're about to meet a bit of a veteran in the advertising industry, Chuck Porter, founder of CP+B. Welcome, Chuck.
Thank you, it's nice to be here. I'm enjoying our time together.
So first question, what have you been talking about at Ad Week?
You know that there are 4 of us in the back of a taxi here. I want everyone to know that because this is sort of not all that common. Sorry, what did you say?
So apart from this brilliant taxi ride, what have you been talking about at Ad Week?
I hate to talk about work. I mean, I hate to talk about creativity because I think it's just bullshit. So I really just like, you show the work and people either say, whoa, that's great, I love it, or that's pretty lame and boring. And so we just showed some work. We showed some work. I asked each of our people, we had our sort of senior creative from Brazil, and I said, bring one spot that you've done that you love and one spot someone else has done that you love in Brazil. So he bought a couple of spots, and the same thing with Sweden. So we just basically showed some work and talked about it a little bit. From Sweden, we showed a piece that we did for the new Sony phone. I think it's called the Xperia, which is one of the first waterproof phones, and it was a really interesting piece. They gave away free Cokes, free Coca-Colas to everyone who was coming in, and inside of about 20 of them there was this phone. And then before the movie started, the announcement came on that said, hey, before we start this film, we're zeroing in on, and they had satellite pictures. And anyway, phones started ringing in the audience, and people found these phones in their Cokes, and that's how they introduced it and went viral and like that. So that was sort of cool.
So do you think brands need to move beyond that, just TV creative followed by a print, into something more, in Sony's case, experiential?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been going on for a while. I think, it was in the US anyway, in 2004, what happened was, for the first time ever among young men specifically, the time they were spending online, this was 10 years ago, but the time they were spending online, the graph crossed the time they were watching TV. And so for the last 10 years, everyone has been saying, well, the TV spot is dead, and it's not dead yet. The reality is it's still the most cost-effective way to reach the most people, and it's an emotional medium because you've got music and pictures, and so I don't think that broadcast is going to go away, but I think that the fundamental difference now is that rather than advertising being an announcement where you run a print ad to announce something, you run a TV spot to announce something, you really have to carry on a conversation because everyone talks back to you now.
What do you think of shock advertising? The Drums had a panel here on the effects of shock advertising.
Shock advertising. I'm not sure. I'm not positive I know what you mean by shock advertising.
So kind of controversial advertising.
Shock for shock alone, just for shock value, doesn't work very well. I think just to shock people is sort of bankrupt because it's sort of look at me, but I don't really have anything to say. On the other hand, I think advertising that doesn't stop people and get their attention is a waste of money. The real enemy of most brands is not the competition, it's indifference. Most people really don't care. So you have to get their interest in, and either you have to give them information that they want or entertain them. But if you don't get their attention, if there isn't at least something that makes me stop and look at this and think about it, you're kind of wasting your money. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's a good I think the answer is I like shock advertising if it has something to do with the brand you're shocking me about.
Office in Brazil.
Office in Brazil,
What's
yes.
the creative scene like in Brazil?
We did the deal in Brazil because I think two of the best creatives in Brazil, certainly the two guys who have done some of the greatest work. I mean, this team won 13 Lions at Cannes last year, which is pretty amazing. Because they wanted to do it, that's why we did it. We have enormous faith in them. And it's really, we're only a month into it. I mean, Brazil it's an interesting place. The economy is booming again. There's an enormous amount of talent there. There's a huge amount of energy and excitement and color. So we're excited about Brazil.
We've got World Cup and Olympics there.
World
So
Cup,
what's
we
the
got the
long-term
Olympics.
strategy? Are you
We don't have a long-term. I mean, we have never had a long-term strategy. I mean, I'm serious. Since I joined the agency, because I was a copywriter, a freelance copywriter. I didn't have any idea how to do long-term plans or cost projections or any of that stuff. So I decided early on, all we're going to do is we're going to do great work today, and tomorrow will take care of itself. So I would say our long-term plan for Brazil is do a brilliant campaign tomorrow, and don't worry about long-term. So that's kind of our long-term plan.